Alrighty, it's Friday, and I know I've been pretty excited about this one. I know a lot of you have been asking about it. This is new from Positive Grid, and it's called the Spark Edge. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, the Spark Edge. I've got so many Spark products. I think the only one that I don't have is the Spark Live. I've got the Spark 1, or the Spark 40 watt, and I've got the Spark 2, I've got the Spark Mini. I don't have the Spark Go. All right, so there's two that I don't have. There's a good reason for it. I also have the Spark Cab. The reason is that the products are generally pretty great, and they've got a lot of uses to them. Especially if you're a bedroom player, if you're just learning to play guitar or whatever, they have so many attributes to them, especially with the app and the practice stuff, the AI that's in there. And well, today we're just going to go over this one. Let me tell you a little bit more about it from the website. So Spark Edge, it retails for $449. It does have a battery that's available for it. That is separate. It's $79. And I got to say, if you're going to buy one of these Spark amps that does take a battery, I would definitely buy the battery because it just makes everything so convenient. You want to take it out on the pier and play, you want to take it out in the front yard, backyard, wherever, you don't have to worry about finding a place to plug in, and they last a long time. They're saying with this one it lasts 6 hours. So it's a portable 4-channel smart amp and PA system. This 4-channel smart amp and PA system delivers 65 watts of dynamic sound in a sleek portable design with dual XLR 1/4-inch combo inputs, optional battery power sold separately, and a built-in looper. Spark Edge is your all-in-one performance machine. So to me, it kind of feels like they took the Spark Live and the Spark 2, they combined it, and this is what you get. And it's really cool. It's got this edge right here. That's probably why they call it the edge. So it can lean back and be like a monitor. And it also even has like rubber skid on this part of it. So there's feet here, and then there's the rubber skid on here as well. It's pretty darn secure and so lightweight for a 65 watt PA system that's all in one. 4 inputs. So yeah, 4 channels, amps, effects, and loopers, 65 watts plus battery, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. If you're thinking 65 watts isn't a whole lot, it really is. This thing is pretty darn loud. So here's a scenario. Say you're busking, you've got a guitarist, a singer, and a bassist, and you want all of them to come out of one easily portable device. You could do that with this. Of course, like the other amps, they use Sonic IQ technology, integrates advanced computational audio processing with custom acoustic design. You get high frequencies, robust low-end response, and a comprehensive tonal range. The grill on the speaker is also swappable. Yep, just comes off like that, and there we go. That's what it looks like on the inside beyond the grill. And it's a custom acoustic design that, I gotta say, it sounds really, really, really good. And then these go right back on just by pressing them in. And there we go. So you could customize your grill, and you might even be able to get a custom one made for you. I think they do that. Starting with the Spark 2, they introduced AI features on this, and it does. It's got some really nice AI features on here. I showed in my previous video on the Spark 2 amp, which I do recommend you watch that, even if you just watch for the stuff with the app in there, because I show you how you can search. You can say, I want a tone of Metallica in the late 80s or something like that, and it'll pull up some options for you. That's pretty amazing. I've had people ask me if you have to subscribe and pay for that. You do not. But that's not where the AI ends. They have AI in their Smart Jam, so that allows you to play along with your favorite songs, practice with backing tracks, and elevate your jam sessions. And it even has auto chords using AI. Also in this video, I don't go into all the particulars with the app, like how to adjust each little individual setting on each one of the pedals and all that stuff. I did show you in the Spark 2, but I think you'll get a pretty good overview. All right, well, let's get right into it. All right, so let's take a look at the controls on here. So you've got channel 1 and channel 2 with presets. You got separate volumes for those. You've got the music, and then channel 3 and 4 has a one volume for both of them. It's a nice handle on top of here. It's got a rubber kind of pad or silicone on the bottom of it. And man, this thing is just so freaking light. It is, man, it's nice. Now, of course, right now I've got it sitting flat, But you know, you've got that angled edge right there, so we can just pop it up like that, and then it sits like that, like a monitor. And then looking at the back here, of course, this is where you're going to plug in your power. USB goes right in there, and we will demo that in just a little bit as a audio interface. You've got your master controls here. You've got low, mids, and highs, and your volume right there. Then you've got channel 1 and channel 2. There's a MIDI in, headphones right there. You've got the stereo input for the channel 3 and channel 4. And then we've also got line out right there, left and right. There's a power button right there, Bluetooth pair, which I never even had to do that. All I had to do is go to my phone and turn it on. And then that is where your battery goes if you're using it. So in my use, I'm going to be using the Spark Link. I'm just going to plug that into channel 1. I also have a bass guitar, which I've already plugged into this. And when I did, it actually brought up something on the app saying, do you want to make this a default bass one? I'm sure if you plugged in a guitar, it would also ask you the same thing. But at this point, this is set for impedance of a bass, and that definitely helps. Now, since I don't have a bass player here with me, in order to demonstrate that, I'll use the Groove Looper. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and push the power button. I'm going to hold it, and now everything's coming on. And the app comes to life. So this one right here is going to be for guitar. This one's going to be for bass. They both have their own presets. You can switch them, and their own volume. So that's good. It works like the other Spark amps. If you switch them, there's actually 8 per bank. And you just turn it to switch the different settings. And if you assign something different to one of these, you can actually just push the button, hold it, and it'll set it. So whatever preset you choose will now be in that position every time you turn it on until you change it. So let's go ahead and connect. And there we go, completely connected. The amp that I've got on there right now is an Angle Fireball. I love the sound of those. But we can go here and we can do input 2, which is vocal, leads, and back to input 1. So these are separate settings that are set up for each one of these. I think once I plug the bass in there, it'll change that to to a bass. In fact, let's try that right now. So the first time that I plug this in, I got a message on here saying, is this a bass guitar? Would you like to switch the impedance of this input, channel 2, to bass? And I said yes. So it didn't ask me again this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to channel 2. And there we go. We've got the acoustic preamp, bass preamp. So there are some options there. And then if we hit this, then we're going to go to, well, these are vocal settings. Of course, I could go in and find more bass settings and put them on there if I want to. Back to the bass settings. And I find that I really like that one right there. All right, from the website, a little clearer idea about the 4 channels. So channel 1 is a 1/4-inch XLR combo input, ideal for electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass, and vocals with 36 amp models and 50 customizable effects plus looper. Channel 2 does not have the looper. It's the 1/4-inch XLR combo input tailored for vocals, bass, and acoustic guitars with dedicated amps and effects. And then channels 3 and 4, 1/4-inch stereo inputs, perfect for keyboards, drum machines, and any instrument. All right, I've got my trusty EVH Wolfgang here, and what I'm going to show you is I'm going to be using the Groove Looper. In a previous video, actually for the Spark 2 amp, I did show you how to use that pretty extensively, so if you want to see that, I got a link popping up in the corner. But what I'm trying to do is show you that you can use several different instruments, well, up to 4 different instruments on this at one time. Although channels 3 and 4 only have 1 volume control, there are separate volume controls for the channel 1 and 2, so you've got a guitar and a bass on there. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, I don't have a bass player to play with me in here, so what I'm going to do is use the Groove Looper on here, and like I say, I've showed you that before, so if you want to watch that video, you can. This time around, I'm recording with the Shure SM57 microphone. I will also do, in just a minute here, a direct input into Reaper using the USB output on that. All right, let's go ahead and create a loop. Okay, so just imagine there's actually a bass player and a guitar player here. I think you get the picture. This is actually my wife's bass. I bought this for her, and I've just kind of, taken it over because she doesn't really play, but I bought it so that she could learn how to play bass and play along with me. Easy for me to say, right? So it has a really good sound for a bass. On this amp is what I'm trying to get at for the Edge. So yeah, each one of them has individual controls and all of that, and it works really well, and it sounds good too. What I figured out is that I could actually plug my Fender Tone Master Pro into this and one of the other channels, or even this channel, and just get a clean channel or whatever. And I can also plug in my Beat Buddy Mini 2, and I'm gonna have the whole setup going there. So I'm gonna experiment with that. That'll be fun. All right, I'm no looping expert, but I'm getting better at it. I'm trying. So I've got the Wolfgang back over here, and what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna go through everything on the app or anything like that because, well, I've covered it several times. You've got all your different sounds and stuff that you can pull up here. There are 4 for this bank, and then of course there is well, let's just do this. There's a second bank right there. That's the stuff, and you can see that one's still highlighted next to it, the bank A, because that's what we're still on. All right, so that's that. And of course you can go through and find tons and tons of other stuff just by scrolling through. Here's alternative. Let's go spooky melody. Pretty cool. But let's just go back to what we already had there. I think you get the picture that you can do just about anything. But man, it is just so much fun. All right, and the other thing is, I could go over here and we could go to bank 2 and we could pick ambient tone style. We could go on for days with that. One thing that is really nice too is that these Spark amps can plug directly into your DAW with a USB-C, so that's pretty nice. All right, so I've got this directly plugged into my Mac with Reaper using the USB-C, so let's check out how that sounds. I think it sounds pretty darn good. All right, you know what? I got no complaints, and I'm really looking forward to using this. I also have the battery, so I can put that in there and take it out to the beach. Put it in the back of my truck, because we can drive out on the beach here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, as long as you have a permit. Anyways, it'll be a lot of fun. And I've also got those portable power stations, the solar generators. I can take those out there, or I could use the battery, either way. But this is really cool, and I'm digging it. So there we go, Spark Edge. Man, I gotta tell you, if I had had these products back when I first started playing guitar, I think things would have been a lot different. I didn't, I had a cassette deck that I would sit there and kind of rewind and play. And I remember my first amp was, I had a neighbor who was a big, was an older man. He was a geek and he was into electronics, and he knew that I played guitar. So he built me a little metal box, like a project box with one knob on it and a switch. and it was basically a power amp, and it was horrible. Plus, I didn't have, you know, an amp cabinet. I had, sorry, Greg, it wasn't horrible. It was great for what I needed it for. But we had, well, I just had stereo speakers from my bedroom stereo that I hooked up to it. So if I'd had something like this where I could have backing tracks, where I could have AI, where I could have the ability to look up any song on YouTube through the app and be able to play along with it, showing me the chords and everything else, oh man, that game changer for me it would have been. Not only that, if you need a portable setup that you don't have to carry all of your effects board and everything else, say you're just going over to your friend's house to jam or something, man, you just grab the strap on one of these amps or grab the handle on this one, you could bring it over and you could both plug into it, especially if he's a bass player or she is a bass player, singer or anything like that. You can do two guitars side by side, but only channel 1 has the looper. So yeah, totally digging it. That's the Spark Edge. I want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, always very important to my channel. So if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there and notification bell. You click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. I do have a thanks button down below this video. If you're so inclined, want to toss a couple bucks my way, it is not inexpensive to run these channels, clearly. And every penny counts. I just appreciate that you're here, really. It means the world to me, so thank you very much. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.